Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. There is always takeout where we are trying recipes that we know in our RV to see if we can adapt them here. Tonight we are going to make dinner of French bread pizza, and we're going to make salad with homemade garlic Parmesan croutons. So we went to the store today and we picked up a loaf of French bread pizza, and our grocery store is fabulous. It comes as a whole loaf, but if we ask them, they will cut it down. So we had them cut it down. It's a little bit jumbled. That's my fault. The loaf of French bread runs about $2 or $3 depending on your store. So it's a very inexpensive meal option. And they're a little bit bigger than a bagel bite. So we are going to make our French bread pizza out of that, but first we've got to make our croutons. I went ahead and pulled out the smaller pieces earlier today so that they can get stale, because for croutons we want them a little stale. So we're going to start with our croutons. So let me move pizza stuff out of the way. All right, so the croutons are a pretty basic recipe. Takes a few minutes to prep it, and then they're going to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes at 325. I've already preheated my oven, so it is warming up. So now we're going to prep the croutons. Now we do need melted butter for this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get the glass jar ready so we can melt our butter the easy way. The easy way is a trick that I learned where you heat up water in a glass, and then once the glass is hot, you can put this over top of the butter and it'll melt it, and that way it'll make it easier instead of making it liquidy and runny and separated. So let's get the water heated. And now we're gonna get our croutons chopped up into bite-sized pieces. You want about 1-inch cubes. That'll make it a little bit edible. Nobody likes large croutons. So I'm just quartering the smaller ones, and then on the larger ones, ninthing them. I don't know, is that a word? Even being a little stale, this smells so good, and I am so hungry. If you've watched other videos, you've heard me mention I have a wheat allergy. So I try not to eat too much gluten. Unfortunately, I fail miserably at it. So I've avoided eating gluten as much as I can today, or any other allergens. So I'll be able to eat this tonight sparingly. Look at that timing. All right, so we've got those dumped into our bowl, ready to go there. Get this out of the way. Salt the recipe and make sure I am ready. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dump out this water into our dish bin so it's there for dishes, and set our butter up in here so that it can soften. And we'll just trap that heat in here with the cutting board and let it get a little bit more melted. So now we'll get our dry ingredients ready to go. And I'm just gonna put them all into a measuring cup so that I can get them get them ready to sprinkle on once I add the butter. So let's get this opened up. Oh, I'm sorry, I should be telling you what I'm adding in. Okay, I added in about a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm adding in about a half a teaspoon of garlic as well. I'm using garlic powder. And then I am gonna add in some Parmesan cheese, the grated Parmesan. About a teaspoon of that as well. So about twice as much, or the equivalent of what we already got there. And just kind of mix it all up. If you want any other herbs in there, you can add in some thyme, some oregano, parsley, anything like that you might want. We don't have anything else on hand, so we're not going to use anything else. And then I just give those a good little shake up. Let's check the butter. Looks like it's getting there. All right, we might have to add this in for some more heat because that has lost a little bit of heat. Well, let's turn the metal down. All right, we'll give that a moment more to finish melting, and when the butter has melted, we'll get all of this mixed together and then get these put on a pan to start baking them. So the butter is melted. I was a little impatient, so I did microwave it, but just for about 15 seconds and then let it rest for 30. So it's still kind of thick and not separated. So now what we are gonna do is pour this over top of our bread crumbs that we've got, our chopped up bread, and then we'll add the herbs and spices in. I like to do the butter first so that they are moist, and then I can put the dry ingredients over it so it'll stick. If I put the dry stuff on there first, the liquid just kind of runs it off. So hence my logic on that. I don't know if it's right or not, but that's what Sonia does. So we will pour our butter. And then we will sprinkle our garlic and herb, or garlic and Parmesan. And then we'll just kind of flip it all around to get it all absorbed. Sometimes I do this in a big Ziploc bag or with a second bowl over it. Shaking is a lot easier than stirring, but I figured this looked a little bit better than me standing here shaking like a crazy person. So you're welcome. All right, those look good and mixed up. I don't see any dry bits left over. So now we're gonna spread them into our pan so that they can bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll flip them about halfway through. That way they can get nice and golden on both sides. So I have a non-stick pan. I haven't sprayed it with anything since it's non-stick, and it's got butter on it, so I'm hoping it shouldn't stick, and I'm hoping it won't. Oh, they smell heavenly. Just kind of spread them out, make sure they're not stacked on each other. Try to get it all in one layer. Maybe we should sample one. Yeah, chefs do that, right? Hey babe, you wanna try one?
No thanks.
You sure?
Positive.
That's really good. That's gonna be good on the salad. All right, so let's get these popped in the oven. We'll get a timer set, and then we will start working on the pizzas. So my son likes ham on his pizza, and we like pepperoni, or a combination thereof. So I'm dicing up some of our lunch meat ham that we have, and then I'll probably dice up the pepperonis as well. just since the slices are smaller and it just looks funny with giant pepperonis. So I should probably grab another bowl out for pepperonis in a minute. That broken up a little bit. All right, there's our ham. So now we are ready to assemble our pepperoni pizzas and ham pizzas. So we've got our sliced loaf of French bread that's been sealed up. We've got just a jar of store brand pizza sauce. We're not fancy. And then we got a bag of Italian shredded cheese. I like the finely shredded just because it melts a little bit better and faster. We picked up some pepperonis, and then we just have some lunch meat on hand. So we chopped up the pepperonis and the hams so they are ready. So let's get our first batch assembled. So as you can see, these are a smaller size. So we figure probably anywhere from 4 to 6 per person is going to be enough. We'll make a few extras, but we can always whip up more. So I just go ahead and lay them out so I can do them in an assembly line. Probably won't all fit in this pan, so I probably don't need to get in a rush. We want the good ones that won't have holes in them. We'll just put a couple of these back for now. Now we are a light sauce kind of family, light to medium sauce. So I use a tablespoon and do maybe about 2/3 of one. And just kind of dab it on there, and then I'll go back and spread it in a minute. So we've got a good dab. So now we just kind of spread it around. Some of them thicker than others. That's okay. Just want to kind of get sauce on all the edges. And if you need to go back and add more, go back and add more. With the French bread being a dough that's already cooked, you will find it does absorb your pizza sauce pretty quickly. So a little bit extra is fine. And that way it will still have flavor as it cooks. All right, so those look good for our first batch. So now let's get some cheese put on them. I use about a pinch of cheese, big pinch, little pinch, depending on the size. I don't measure. So we'll just put some cheese on there until it looks good. And about the time we get this done, the timer is saying we may be ready to flip some croutons. We'll get that in just a minute. Steal a little bit from that one and that one to finish that one off. That one needs a little bit more there. All right, so that gets our cheese we are gonna pause for a minute to check our croutons. All right, these are getting nice and golden. Let's stir them up so the other side gets done too. Ah, a couple casualties. It's okay, a couple more casualties. These we can save. The oven is clean. So we've got them kind of flipped and golden. See, they're turning nice and gold. I would like to get them a little bit better flipped, but such is life. Spatulas don't like me. I think it's because I'm left-handed. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll stick these back in for about 10 more minutes and let them finish turning golden brown all over. They smell wonderful already. Reset that timer. And let's continue making pizzas. So we've got 6 on here, so we'll do half ham, half pepperoni, and then we'll do another batch in a bit that we will do a blend of ham and pepperoni combined, and then we'll see where we're at with that. All right, that gets us some pepperoni. Now let's get some ham. They're sticking a little bit. There we go. All right, so these are ready to go. So now we are going to put them into our baking sheet. So I got our smaller ones. One has holes, one doesn't. We'll just manage with this the way that it is. So we'll just pop these on here. And try to turn them so they all fit. Now we will need the oven a little bit warmer for these than we did for the croutons, but because it's already nice and warm, it'll come up to temperature pretty quick. So those are ready. I'm gonna go ahead and prep another half a dozen of them for a batch real quick. But this is what we've got so far. All right, so let's prep another batch while we're waiting. We're gonna start getting to the holier pieces of the bread, but that's okay. We'll make do. It's still good.
Guess all the rest are ham.
All right, we ran out of pepperoni, so I guess the rest are going to be ham. The second batch ready to go. So when those come out of the oven, they will be done. And our breadsticks, excuse me, our croutons are smelling like they are just about finished. We did have a few leftover pieces of bread, but the gremlins in the RV, these will disappear in no time. So let's check those croutons. They smell good. They look good. They smell nice and toasty. We had a runaway. Let's test it. A little chewy, not as crunchy and crispy, but that could be because we only let our bread set out for a few hours instead of several days. But I will call these done. So let's crank that temperature up and let's get the pizzas in. For the pizzas, I bumped the temperature up to 400. So we'll give it a couple minutes and check the thermostat. While we're doing that, we'll clean up our mess just a bit. So whenever we open a jar of sauce that we don't use all of it, I always write the date on top, just a Sharpie, and stick it in the fridge. And then we make plans to use it within the next 5 days so that we can make sure we don't waste anything. That's a great way to keep your budget in check. Our oven has gotten warm, so we're gonna go ahead and pop those pizzas in and use that heat so we're not wasting any more propane. And when these are done, we'll pull them out and swap them for the next round. So while those are cooking, we'll finish cleaning up the kitchen and getting the salad ready. And we'll set another 10-minute timer and check on those. All right, so we're gonna throw our salad together. We had some romaine from the other night when we did tacos, but we went an extra day than we should have, so that has turned. So unfortunately, we won't be able to use that for our salad, but that's okay. We've got more. Our preference is the romaine hearts. It has better flavor than just your regular iceberg, a little bit more nutrition, a little crispier. So we're gonna go ahead and pull some of these off and we'll just hand tear them to prep our salad. Boys, baby spinach or no?
No. Thank you.
Hide a couple pieces. Sup, Luna? Safe world. You want me to go ahead and put carrots in it and then just keep the tomatoes separate?
You're not gonna eat tomatoes.
Okay. What are you gonna eat since the carrots?
Just go wild.
Okay. Pizza's out and swapped over. The salad is ready to go, so the boys will be able to start making their plates while I get the next batch of pizzas ready. All right, I'm gonna let those rest for a couple minutes. Get the croutons over here for the salad. These came out fantastically. I don't think we're gonna be able to plate them all separately. Here is our pepperonis. there is our ham. So this came out pretty nice. So I'll let the boys go ahead and eat while I get the next round going. They can make their salads, I'll get mine going, make my salad, and then we'll be able to sit down and eat. All right, so our second batch of pizzas are ready, and we have made a salad and it is plated. So we are now ready for our French bread pizza and salad, and everything has come out delicious. Of course I've been sampling. So we will be able to eat this. No takeout for us tonight, but we will definitely be eating this French bread pizza and salad. I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment down below with what your favorite pizza toppings are. Use those emojis to tell me what you like on your pizza, and we'll stop by and we will chat and interact. And we'll see you next week. We are going to use more French bread, and this time I'm going to teach you guys how I make my French bread French toast. So we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.